of 1922, and I arrived in New York to be a part of the bond business and live in a part of Long Island named West Egg. One night, I drove out to meet my cousin, Daisy Buchanan, and had dinner with her and her husband, Tom Buchanan.
I've got a nice place here. What's up?
I'm paralyzed with happiness. This is my friend Jordan Baker.
You live in West End. I know somebody there.
I don't know a single.
You must know Gatsby.
Gatsby? What Gatsby?
Dinner is ready.
The sunset is so beautiful.
I need to use the bathroom.
That sounds like a
It's no problem. I might go call my mistress.
Oh,
Sir, you have a call.
don't talk. I want to hear what happens.
Something happening?
You mean you don't know? Tom's got some woman in New York.
Some woman.
Apparently.
Sorry. So, what are you talking about?
The beautiful sunset.
Well, it's getting hot. You guys want to go in? Let's go in. About to. This is really good. You guys are so much fun today.
So much fun.
Goodbye, Mr. Caraway.
Good night, everybody. Night.
Tom and I are on a train going up to New York one afternoon when Tom pulls me out of the train.
Getting off. I want you to see my girl. Hello, Wilson, old man. How's business?
I can't complain.
George's wife, Myrtle Wilson, comes into the room. George goes to get chairs for them. Tom turns to Myrtle.
I want to see you. Get on the next train.
Alright.
The three of us go up to an apartment where Myrtle holds a party. The party goes on until Tom and Myrtle get into an argument.
Oh yeah. We're good, guys. We're good. Things getting heated. Daisy, Day. I'll say it whenever I want to. Daisy, Day.
One morning, I receive an invitation from Jay Gatsby to attend his party that night. During the party, I attempt to find Gatsby. Failing, I find Jordan Baker instead.
Thank you.
Hello.
I thought you might be here. Let's go sit, shall we?
Your face is familiar. Weren't you in the 3rd Division during the war?
Why, yes, I was in the 9th Machine Gun Battalion.
I was in the 7th Infantry until June 1918. I knew I'd seen you somewhere before. I've got a hydroplane I was thinking about trying it out tomorrow morning. Want to go with us for it? Just near the shore along the sound.
What time?
Anytime that suits you best.
This is an unusual party for me. I haven't even met the host. I live over there.
I'm Gatsby.
What? Oh, I beg your pardon.
Oh, I thought you knew on sport. I'm afraid I'm not a very good host. Someone's calling me on the wire.
They say he killed a man, you know. Anyhow, he gives large parties, and I like large parties. They're so intimate. A small party serves in any privacy.
Excuse me, man. Mr. Gatsby, I'd like to talk to you. I'm gonna stand where I'm beside like this. It's gonna be alright. I'm really trying to say this. You know that? What we're still talking about? Jeez, like, get it together.
I just heard the most amazing thing. It was simply amazing. But I swore I wouldn't tell it, and here I am tantalizing you. Anyways, come see me, Mr. Caraway. Farewell.
Oh, Gatsby, sorry I didn't recognize you earlier.
Don't mention it. Don't give it another thought, old sport. And don't forget, we're going to go to the hydroplane tomorrow morning at 9. Good night.
Good night.
One morning in late July, Jay Gatsby pulls into my driveway and calls me out to lunch.
Good morning, old sport. You're having lunch with me today, and I thought we'd ride up together. Look here, old sport. I'm going to tell you something about my life. I don't want you to get the wrong ideas of me with all these stories you hear. I'll tell you the God's truth. I am the son of some wealthy people in the Middle West, all dead now. I was brought up in America, but educated in Oxford. When my family all died, I came into a great deal of money, and I lived like a Raja in Europe. Trying to forget something very painful, then came the war. I'm going to ask you something today, and I don't want you to think I'm some nobody. You will find out when you meet Jordan Baker today.
Jay Gatsby, Meyer Wolfsheim, and I are eating in a restaurant. We are all talking when Meyer says something surprising to me.
I understand you're looking for a business negotiation.
Oh no, this isn't the right man.
No, I beg your pardon. I had the wrong man. I enjoyed my lunch, and I'm going to run away from you 2 minutes before I outstay my welcome.
Where have you been? Daisy's been furious you haven't called up.
This is Mr. Gatsby, Mr. Buchanan.
How have you been anyhow? Why'd you come this far to come eat?
I've been having lunch with Mr. Gatsby.
Gatsby had left the two men and disappeared. Later, Jordan and I talk about Daisy's past.
One day I saw Daisy in a car with a soldier who was of the name Jay Gatsby. I hadn't even made the connection until you had come that first evening. Daisy came into my room and asked me, "What Gatsby?" When I described him, she said to herself, it must be the Gatsby she knew.
That's a strange coincidence.
It wasn't a coincidence at all. Gatsby bought that house so he could be near Daisy. His request for you today was to see if you could invite Daisy to tea and then have him come over. She's not to know about this. Gatsby doesn't want her to know.
As I go home, I was startled to see that every light in Gatsby house is on. As I walk up to his house, Gatsby walks across the lawn up to me.
Your house looks like the World's Fair. I talked to Miss Baker. I'm gonna call up Daisy and invite her to tea. What day suits you?
What day suits you? I don't want to cause you any trouble, you see?
How about the day after tomorrow?
Of course. Listen, I've got something that might interest you. You might happen to pick up a little bit of money, and it happens to be a confidential thing.
I've got a lot on my hands. I'm much obliged, but I can't take on any more work.
Hi, Daisy. Would you like to come to tea tomorrow?
Hello, Nick.
Don't bring Tom.
What?
Don't bring Tom.
Who is Tom?
The next day, Gatsby arrived early. When Daisy arrived, Gatsby left the house.
Are you ready to meet her?
Yeah.
Alright, just wait outside. Hi, Daisy.
Hey, Nick.
Well, that's funny.
What's funny?
Hi, Gatsby.
Hey, Nick.
I certainly am glad to see you again. We haven't met for many years.
5 years next November. I would like for you and Daisy to visit my house sometime soon. I'd like to show her around.
Wow, your house is pretty nice.
I remember when I originally had it built. As they were working on it, I had to direct the whole thing. And here's my room right here. And if it wasn't for the mist, we'd be able to see your house from across the bay.
I leave the two alone in the house and go home. After several weeks of not seeing Gatsby, I go up to his house one afternoon. I'm surprised to see Tom Buchanan there.
I'm delighted to see you. And I believe we've met somewhere before, Mr. Buchanan.
Oh yes, so we did. You live around here, Nick?
Right next door.
I know your wife.
That's so. Alright, well I have to leave now.
Oh, look around.
Oh, it's marvelous.
So, who's this Gatsby anyhow? Some bootlegger? Not Gatsby. I'd like to see who he is and what he does, and I think I'm gonna make a point out of it.
ready to say go. We gotta get going.
No, so, well, we have to get going now. So it was nice seeing you guys.
Y'all have a great day.
See ya.
She didn't like it. She didn't have a good time. She doesn't understand.
I wouldn't ask too much of her. You can't repeat the past.
Can't repeat the past. Well, of course I can. I'm going to fix everything the way it was before. She'll see.
One Saturday night, when Gatsby's lights failed to go on, I went to go check on him. An unfamiliar butler greeted me and said Gatsby is not in. The next day, Gatsby called me on the phone.
Going away? I heard you fired all of your servants.
I wanted somebody who wouldn't gossip as much, as Daisy was coming over quite often. Also, she asked me to ask you if you would like to come over tomorrow for lunch.
Well, of course.
Who wants to go to town? It's so hot. Oh, you look so cool. You always look so cool.
Alright, I'm perfectly willing to go to town. Say, Mr. Gatsby, why don't you take my coupe and I take your car?
You take Jordan and Nick while I ride with Jay.
Gatsby, Daisy, and I get into Gatsby's car and speed off. We stop at Wilson's garage for some gas, and George Wilson fills up the tank.
I can't wait here, Nick.
How about this one? Just bought it last week.
It's a nice yellow one.
Like to buy it?
Big chance, but there's a chance I can make more money off of the other one.
Why do you need the money?
I've been here too long. My wife and I want to move west.
Your wife does what?
I just got wised up to something funny the last 2 days. That's why I've been bothering you about the car.
I'll let you have the car. I'll send it tomorrow afternoon.
We leave Wilson's garage and meet Daisy and Gatsby at the hotel.
Mr. Gatsby, I heard you're an Oxford man.
Well, I only went to Oxford for about 5 months. I wouldn't consider myself an Oxford man.
What kind of roar are you trying to cause inside my house?
He isn't causing a roar, you are.
I suppose the best thing is to sit back and let nobody from nowhere make love to your wife.
That's something to tell you. Your wife doesn't love you. She's never loved you. She loves me.
You must be crazy. Daisy loved me. She married me and still loves me. And what's more, I love her too.
You're revolting. Oh, you're too much. I love you now. Isn't that enough? I can't help what's past. I did love him once, but I loved you too. Please, Tom, I can't stand this anymore.
Gatsby and Daisy leave, and long after, Tom, Jordan, and I leave as well. Over in Wilson's garage, George and Myrtle are having an argument.
Daisy! 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 Daisy, no! Daisy!
I can't see it all. Even if I could, it'll all be great. Put your picture on my wall. It reminds me that it's not so bad. It's not so bad.
You don't have to tell me what kind of car it was. I already know what kind of car it was.
Listen, George, that yellow car you saw me driving earlier, it wasn't mine. I haven't seen that car all afternoon.
Tom, Jordan, and I go back to the Buchanan's house. While I wait outside for a taxi, I notice Gatsby in the yard.
What are you doing?
Just standing here, old sport. You see any trouble on the road?
Yes.
Was she killed?
Yes.
I thought so. I told Daisy I thought so. I don't know if anybody saw us, so I'm just gonna leave the car in the garage.
Was Daisy driving?
Yes, but of course I'll say it was me. I'm just gonna wait here and see if he bothers her about the unpleasantness this afternoon.
How long are you going to wait?
All night if necessary.
You wait here. I'll go see if there's any sign of the village. It's all quiet. You should go home and get some sleep.
I'll get some rest as soon as Daisy does.
Around dawn, I hear a taxi pull up to Gatsby House and immediately go over there.
Nothing happened.
You ought to go away. It's pretty certain to trace your car.
Go away now, old sport. I've got something to tell you, old sport. My name isn't really Jay Gatsby, it's James Gatsby. My parents were unsuccessful farm people, and I met a man one day of the name Dan Cody, and he helped me get my fortune. Daisy was the first person I ever truly loved, and I don't think she ever really loved him.
I'll call you up at noon.
I suppose Daisy will call too.
I suppose so. Well, goodbye, Gatsby. Oh, and they're a rotten crowd. You're worth the whole damn bunch put together.
Meanwhile, George Wilson is asking around town who the yellow car belonged to, and he eventually gets Gatsby's name. He shows up to Gatsby's house. I call up Daisy after I found Gatsby dead, but find out they had left early that afternoon. I then call up Meyer Wolfsheim, but no one answers. On the 3rd, a telegram came from Henry Gatsby's father, saying that he was coming
I
immediately.
saw it in the Chicago paper and I came right away.
I didn't know how to reach you.
Where have they got Jimmy?
Over here.
Jimmy always liked it down east. It was down east that he rose to his position. Were you a friend of my boys, Mr.?
We were close friends.
Morning of the funeral, I went up to see Meyer Wolfsheim.
Hey, Nick.
Hi, Meyer. So today is Gatsby's funeral, and you're his closest friend, so I know you'd like to come.
I like to come.
Well, come then.
I can't get mixed up in it.
I leave Wolfsheim's and go back to the funeral. A procession of 3 cars went to the cemetery, and they had Gatsby's funeral.
Daisy. I'll say it whenever I want to. Daisy. Daisy. I'll say it whenever I want to. Daisy. Daisy. I'll say it whenever I want to. Daisy. I was in the 7th Infantry until June 1918. I knew I'd been. Oh, it says seen, not been, but.
This is an unusual.
Guys, just conference it.
My butler doesn't even put it tuck in his shirt, bro.
Where's Kitty? Sock! What are you?
Oh, Gatsby, sorry I didn't recognize you earlier.
I was gonna do that, but let me.
Let go of the brake.
Your house looks like the World's Fair. I talked to Miss Baker. We're going to call it.
Hello, Tom.
Hi, Daisy.
Hi.
Well, that's funny.
What's funny?
Hey, dude. I don't remember. Well, that's funny.
What's funny?
Hi, Gatsby.
Hi.
Well, that's funny.
What's funny?
Hi, Gatsby.
Afternoon, old sport. Jimmy always liked it down east. He rose to his position down east. Were you a friend of my boys, Mr.?
We were close friends. Hi, Meyer. Gatsby's funeral's today, so I know, and you were close to Lily.
I've got something to tell you, old sport. My name isn't really James Gatsby.
Where have you been? Daisy's been furious you haven't called up.
This is Mr. Bouquet. Oh.
You wait right here, Nick.
How do you like this one? Just bought it last week.
You wait right here, Nick.
How about this one?
It's
Just
a
bought-
nice yellow.
How do you like?
You wait right here, Nick.
How do you like this one? Just bought it last week.
It's a nice yellow one.
Like to buy it?
Big chance, but there's a chance.
You wait right here, Nick.
How about this? Just bought it last week.
You wait right here, Nick.
How about this one? Just bought it last week.
It's a nice yellow one.
Like to buy it?
Big chance, but there's a chance I can make.
You wait right here, Nick. You can wait right here, Nick.
How about this one? Just bought it last week.
You don't have to tell me what kind of car.